Welcome back to Simple Truth. We're trying to pull simple truths out of the story of David. Maybe some simple truths with some profound application. Don't know. That's up to you. The profoundness is up to you. So we're in chapter 26. We got through the first 3 or 4 words of chapter 21. And so we want to finish that up. Saul says, I have sinned. Return my son David, for I will no more do you harm, because my life was precious in your eyes this day. Behold, I've acted foolishly, and I have made a great mistake. Repentance, right? Taking ownership of the moment. Not shifting any blame. Not trying to say, hey, we're co-equally to blame, right? Asking to be for someone to return, right? I have sinned. Come back into relationship with me. I have made a great mistake, right? A great mistake. The Bible's super clear in these moments that the answer to that is, yep, I forgive you, right? Now again, whether or not you go back into relationship the way that you were, whether or not you go back, that's up to God. That's not up to the person asking the request. Hey, come back and work for me. Hey, come back and do this with me. Hey, come back and... No, that's a God thing. And sometimes God says, hey, Saul, even though you did this, not everything's going back to the way it was, and not everything's going back to the way you think it should be. God's moving on from moments. We can't take, though, that principle of God is moving on from moments and make that the rule that allows us to just leave people, right? Like, hey, we're restored, but I'm out of here. No, God says whether you're out of here or not. God restored Peter back to the disciples and said, hey, we're moving on from you, Peter. Good deal. If Jesus had treated Peter like most of us treat other people, Peter would have been left out on the street. He wouldn't have gotten a chance to come back because we would have followed that principle of I forgive you, but I can't forget about this. And so we can't be in relationship anymore. And some of you who are listening to this, that you're the man in that moment. You've been doing that regularly. I'll forgive you, but I'm not having anything to do with you. I'm going to go to another church. I'm going to get another job. I'm going to get another spouse. I'm going to get new friends, right? I'm going to whatever it is. You use this principle that God sometimes moves people on from situations. You use it as an excuse to God always moves people on from situations. It's up to God. So Saul makes the request, right? Saul's request is, I've sinned. Return, David. I'm not going to chase after you anymore. I've made a great mistake. Are you willing to do that today? Again, are you willing to say, I have sinned. I'm not going to do this anymore. That's repentance. I'm going to turn the other way. I'm going to walk in the other direction. I'm not chasing you anymore, David. I've made a great mistake. Understanding what it's cost, the time, the resources, the other people who have been hurt. Every word of gossip that you say, it doesn't just hurt. Gossip isn't in a bubble. Otherwise, that would be called talking to yourself. And you can gossip to yourself about other people. You can have an intent to hurt people as you're talking about them to yourself. But real gossip is between two people, and that's damaging in nature. Words that you can't get back. That person has to actually go through the same process. I've made a great mistake listening to this person. Imagine if you walked up to somebody and you said, hey, I've sinned. I should not have talked to you like I did about this person. Return to me. We're not going to do this anymore. Talk about people. Oh, by the way, I've made a great mistake. You now are telling the other person, you have to deal with this in a similar matter. If the person goes, well, yes, you did. You should never have told me about that. Well, no, you partook in gossip. Right? So you have some responsibility in the whole thing. So Saul takes responsibility. Doesn't mean that God's going to make everything back the way that it should be, but that's up to God. Saul just did the right thing in a moment. Got a lot of moments where he didn't do the right thing. But this moment, he got it right. I'm exactly the same way. A lot of moments where I don't get it right. Sometimes get it right. We'll see you next time we get closer and closer to finishing up chapter 26 of 1 Samuel and the story of David.